Thank you for tuning in. Thanks, big part of our program. We appreciate it. Here we are together again on the radio. I told you that if this ever happened to me, I wouldn't answer the door. Wouldn't answer the phone. Would not say, come on over. I wouldn't do it. I have gone on the record as saying my life is not going to be an Oprah Winfrey-style reunion. And if you are my child, don't come knocking. Don't be calling. Because I won't be picking up. I won't be answering the door. I will not invite you in or have lunch with you or invite you into my life. It won't happen. And the reason for that is that every woman I've ever had sex with knew that I absolutely, positively did not want to be a parent. They all knew. And because they all knew this, if they went ahead and made me a parent against my will and didn't tell me about it, let's just keep that in the closet because I don't want my life changing. I like my life the way it is, without encumbrances, living alone, no baggage, no children, no obligations. When I split with the girlfriend, she got the dog. I mean, done. No obligations. None. None. And I don't want that changing. I don't want anybody coming to the door and changing my life. No desire to find out if anybody did anything that I didn't want them to do. And if they did, you know, I would fulfill all legal obligations once it goes through the proper legal channels. But I would have absolutely nothing to do with any offspring that were created without my knowledge. I just wouldn't. And since I've got this very public forum, I have made this very clear, much to the chagrin of many. But I'm just being honest. I like my life the way it is. This Sunday, the Seattle Seahawks will play the Carolina Panthers in the NFC final, the NFC championship game. Now, I've got a lot of contacts in Seattle, and Gary and I may just drop everything and fly to Seattle, go watch the game, and come back. Just go for the day and come back. Because we can. Coming this spring or this summer, I'll probably do a trip to Tuscany. I will not be buying a first-class seat for a baby or child. I'll be staying in a villa somewhere if I can set that up, drinking wine every day. I will not be looking for coloring books or where the bathroom is or any of that stuff. I will be I'll be enjoying myself like an adult. That's not going to ever change. Ever. Never. I won't have that obligation. And nobody will be able to put it upon me. Anybody planning on dropping off a basket at my front door with a baby in it, or anybody, going loony and deciding they want to drop a kid off of my home, forget it. Don't do it. That door will not open. I do not find myself in middle age hoping to find some unexpected offspring out there to make my life complete. My life is about as complete as it can be. Good career, make a good living, travel, have a great home, a lot of good friends, more experiences than most people have in 5 lifetimes. And yes, Dean, of course, brings up in his own priorities, yes, the new kegerator was delivered, and it is out next to my hot tub. This is no place for a child. Even an adult child, forget it. No interest. I've been consistent about this. You know how people say they want one thing and then later on they say, ooh, you know what? I was wrong. I really wanted something else. I have been consistent about this since I was 8 years old. 8. At 8, I knew I did not want to have children. I'm not making that up. My mother used to tell me when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, oh, you'll change. You'll change. She had no idea how mature I was at 8, and how much thought I'd given this. Every single time I've dated a woman, I have said, you understand, not only do I not want kids, don't plan on having any, because if you do, I won't be there. I won't. I told more than one woman that if she had a baby, I would jump off a building. If she expected me to be involved and started haranguing me, I'd rather just kill myself than to go through the family court system and the crap that people I know have been through. Fights over custody, fights over visitation, fights over child support. Forget it. You can't squeeze blood from a dead man. Well, maybe you can. But you're not going to get any money because he'll be dead. And that would have been me. And I'm fairly certain at this point, because I'm such a public figure, that this has not happened. Because I'm sure one of them would have squirted out of the woodwork by now. But I continue to make this announcement on the air, just in case anyone was thinking of trying some kind of tearful reunion. Don't do it. I have zero interest. I'll be honest with you, too. I'm going to tell you something I've never told on the air before. I've mentioned on the air that I paid for 4 abortions. Do you know one of those women? And I verified it because I went into the control room and listened in. One of the 4 called in, weeping to Dean, saying she wished she'd had that kid. Did not move me. It did not move me. That kid would be 15 years old by now. Sorry, not interested, don't care, don't feel badly about it. You probably wish you did it there, dear, because you wish you'd gotten on the gravy train, I guess. You had no idea I would become this successful. But, no, I saluted the 4 women who had abortions on my behalf and said, really 4 cool chicks for doing that. They did what they said they would do, and I appreciated what they did. Made a point of saying that. But, you know, if anybody went ahead and did that, if anybody went ahead and had a kid against my will, like just went ahead and did it and said, well, since he doesn't want to have a kid, I just won't tell him about it. And then later on they were planning on, like, having some tearful reunion or sending the kid to my home or something. I'm just saying, don't put your kid in that position of being turned away. Because that's what will happen. If he gets to my front door, I won't answer. Won't let him in. I've got an intercom system. I've got a camera. I can look out. I can see who it is. And if it's somebody who looks like me, they're not getting in. Well, my brother will get in. But other than that, nobody. My brother is a little too old to be my son. But, you know, not going to happen. That freaks people out, but imagine being me, you know. I've got a charmed life. I have a great job. I love my work. I love my travel. I eat at the best restaurants. I have great seats for the best concerts. Dean and Gary are with me frequently when I'm, for example, sitting in the 6th row at every heavyweight fight here in Los Angeles, every heavyweight championship fight. You know, Doesn't matter what comes to town, Rolling Stones, U2, whatever. I have tickets. We frequently all go together. Sometimes just me. Sit in the fourth row for hockey. Hang out with the players, the LA Kings. I mean, what can I say? Life's good. Do I want that to change? No. I don't. I want it to stay the way it is until I'm dead. So, don't expect to wind some kid up and send him to my front door, try to appeal to some paternal instinct you think I have. I don't. And that brings me to the email I'm going to read to you right now. I want you to listen to this email, and I want you to tell me if anything like this has ever happened to you. Again, listen carefully, and then tell me if anything in this email ever happened to you. Ready? Here we go. Anonymous writes in and says, Tom, I need some advice. This past Christmas, I was sitting with my wife of 10 years and my 3 wonderful children. Doesn't that sound great? It's Christmas. You got 3 great kids. You got your wife. You're happily married. You're enjoying the holiday. You know, you've got It's a Wonderful Life playing in the background, or Christmas Story, or, you know, you got Charlie Brown Christmas. You can get the sound of little jingle bells playing in the background and stuff. You got toy trains and PlayStations and everything under the tree, and it's just spectacular. You're just having this great holiday, okay? So there he is, married 10 years, 3 kids, enjoying the holiday. He says, I was assembling toys and enjoying a cup of coffee when the telephone rang. Figuring it was my parents calling to talk to their grandchildren, I jumped for the phone and received the shock of my life. On the other end of the line was a 12-year-old girl claiming that I was her father. My initial reaction was that this was some kind of joke being pulled by one of my cronies, which, by the way, would have been hilarious if it was. But unfortunately, the more she talked, the more likely her story became. Her mother is my ex-girlfriend before I met my wife. So even without a DNA test, assuming this is true, what are my ex's intentions? Why would she subject her daughter to this revelation at such an early age? I don't get it. Am I being set up for child support? And it's signed Anonymous. Well, Anonymous, let me just say this. It's my opinion that in most cases like this, where a woman has a kid grows up to be 12 years old and never tells you anything, it's my opinion that if she wanted to set you up for child support, she'd have already contacted you some way, shape, or form, would have gotten this information to you. Because if she really needed child support, I'm sure she needed it years 1 through 12. Maybe even more than she needs it the next 6 years. What could very well have happened here is when a girl turns 12 years old, maybe she's beginning to physically mature or whatever, she starts to ask questions. Who's my dad? Where did I come from? And if she asks the question insistently enough, it's entirely possible Mom just says, all right, I'll tell you who he is. I can't guarantee anything. Here's the number. You go right ahead and call and you see what happens. It's entirely possible. But I don't think you would be set up for child support with a phone call like this because, honestly, nowadays, with the automatic garnishing of wages and the electronic means available to track people like you down, I would think if she wanted child support, she wouldn't have to set up her daughter to make a phone call. She could just take the money right out of your account. or file papers. I mean, clearly, if she has your phone number, she probably has your address, probably can find you easily enough. And it would be my guess that if that's what she wanted to do, she'd have done it. It is my guess that Mom got tired of being asked all the time who this girl's dad is, and finally decided to tell her daughter, if only just so they could clear the air and Mom could get it off her agenda. Just my opinion. By the way, may I say, this is my worst nightmare, and a dream I have awakened to more than once in cold sweats. Because every guy out there, and I'm including myself in this large universe, every guy out there, at one time or another, had sex without a condom, or the condom slipped off or leaked. Every guy out there, listen to me, every guy out there, at one time or another, rode bareback, or believed the girlfriend, the one-night stand, whatever, that she said she was on the pill or was using birth control of some kind, or that she couldn't get pregnant. We have all bought into those stories at one time or another. I mean, unless you were a complete monk and you had sex with nobody, there's a very, very, very infinitesimal number of men who can say that 100% of the time in their entire lives that they have always used a condom. I mean, hell, those of you who've been having sex since before we knew about AIDS, my God, in the 70s, people were having sex, and every woman you would go out with would just say, you know, are you on the pill? Yeah, great, and you just go for it. You didn't even question it beyond that. You ask a woman if she was on the pill, she'd say yes or no. If she said yes, you never said, oh, well, let me use a condom also. Because we didn't know about straight people getting AIDS until the 80s. In the 70s, they didn't even call it AIDS. The Village Voice was calling it gay cancer. Nobody was paying any attention to that. People just went and had sex. So there's many of you out there this could have happened to. And I know you can sit there and say, I've never thought about it. I'll tell you what. As big as my balls are, I have awakened in the middle of the night in cold sweats. And the main reason I awaken in cold sweats is because I don't want to have to be in one of these situations where I have to not answer the door or say, look, kid, your mom knows I didn't want to be a parent, and I told her, and I have warned the whole world not to send their kid to my front door, and you shouldn't be here, and don't come back. I have that situation. Don't want my life changing. I don't want to feel guilty. I don't want to feel obligated. I don't want to be involved. Yet I'll bet many of you have gotten this phone call. I mean, really, it's a man's worst nightmare, getting that call. And you know what? It's the absolute worst. Like you're engaged to be married, you have a really good girlfriend, or like this guy, happy marriage, 3 wonderful kids. And suddenly something throws the whole thing up in the air. I mean, what he didn't say in the email is, what did his wife say? Did his kids hear this? By the way, here he was saying he thought his parents were calling to talk to the grandchildren. Grandparents don't know they've got a 4th grandchild. So now I'm wondering, whether it be by telephone call, by email, by a letter, by a knock at the door, has this happened to you?
Tom Leykis, 1-800-5800-TOM.
You have got to be like the lowest rung on the evolutionary ladder I've heard in a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. Here's our telephone number. It's Mark on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How are you, Tom?
Doing great, Mark.
Well, I got a horrible story for you. Kind of horrifying. I mean, I love my kid and all. Came home. My wife and I, my new wife, actually, we just got back from our honeymoon. We're moving into our new very first place. And I got a phone call from this girl that I'd hooked up with probably 6 or 7 months before. And lo and behold, she said I was father of her child.
Wait a minute. Now, were you married with the same woman at the time, or what?
No, not.
Were you dating her, living with her?
I was dating her for about a week and realized that this person wasn't for me. And we
No. I mean, you were married and you got a phone call. The woman you hooked up with, were you with your wife at the time?
She wasn't my wife at the time because we weren't married yet.
Right, but you were engaged or living together?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because that's an important part of the story, obviously. It's one thing if it's somebody you met 10 years ago, and it's another thing if it's somebody you were seeing at the same time as your wife.
Right. But see, now, I don't know how she found me, because she didn't know who I was. I mean, I gave her my first name, but not my last name. And I think she found me through my friends and just hunting me down, going to the clubs and just trying to find out who I was, and eventually found me.
Oh, boy.
So she told me she was on the pill. I didn't care. I still used a condom anyway. There's diseases floating around there nowadays. And sure enough, it broke. And I didn't worry about it. I didn't think much of it. Of course, she doesn't know who I am. I really don't know who she is. And tried to get out of the situation, and there's the phone call.
Boy. So what did you tell your wife when you got the call?
Told her that she's a stepmom and that, I'd hooked up with this girl, and we're actually still married. We've been married for 11 years now, and my son's 11, and then my wife and I have 3 other kids besides that. So between my wife and I, we have 3 kids. So it was a little difficult. It turns out now that 9 years later, she's not a good mom, of course. She should have never been a parent. But
by the way, have you been paying child support and everything?
I had been, yes.
Did you ever get a DNA test?
Yes, I did.
And it was you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, boy. Yikes.
So it turns out now that I have custody, and she's paying twice as much child support as I was paying her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How'd you work that?
She's not a good mom. She should never have been a mom.
No, there are people like that who never actually pay any penalty for that.
Well, I'm a stand-up person. I have a good job, and I have a good marriage, and we have 3 wonderful kids between my wife and I. And by the time court got done, he was all mine. Wow. So she gets a phone call. I'm in San Diego. She's up in Oregon.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, Mark, I think you got off relatively easy there.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
Why not just adopt?
Because we have the ability to have children.
Oh, so what? I have the ability to take a crap on your head. Does that mean I should come over and do it?
I would like, maybe you should try.
The Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Talking about an email from an anonymous listener who said he was sitting there on Christmas morning with his wife of 10 years, 3 great kids, having a cup of coffee, putting toys together. Phone rang. The voice on the other end said, "Hello, I'm your 12-year-old daughter that you've never met from your ex-girlfriend. Has this happened to you? By phone, in person, on the internet, anywhere?" Eric on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Father. All right, I got myself in a little predicament, and I know you're saying this was your worst nightmare, and you have bad dreams about it all the time, and this wasn't even a nightmare for me when it happened, but me and all my buddies, we go out every night pretty much, go to clubs and bars looking for girls to bring back to our house to have sex with, pretty much. And about Halloween time, I met this girl, Sarah. I took her back to my house. Pretty much, she was wasted. I was wasted. We had sex all night. She left in the morning.
Bad. I tell you, don't do that.
And I used the rubber the first couple times, but I was with her all night, a couple times, 3 or 4, and I'm at the bar on Thursday night, this last Thursday we just had, and there's a group of girls that are just staring at all my friends and the guys I'm with, and one of them walks over and talks to my brother and says that one of her friends likes me and that I should go over there and talk to her. So, of course, I go over there and talk to her. I'm chatting with her for 10, 15 minutes, and I ask her if she wants to come back to my house. Me and my buddies are going to have a little, get-together at our house. And she says, yeah, her and her friends would like to come. I give her my phone number.
Oh, boy.
And we go back a couple hours later. She never calls, so I forget about it. And on Saturday, the girl that I had this relation with back in October calls me up and says, yeah, those were my friends at the bar, and they knew that you hung out there, and they went there deliberately to get your number so I could get in contact with you. So this girl is now telling me that she's 3 months pregnant. She wanted to make sure she was 3 months pregnant before she told me. She's got these names picked out and all this stuff. She says she's keeping the baby. There's no way I could pay for an abortion. There's no abortion. She won't even think about it. And now she's saying that she's not going to get me for child support or nothing like that. She just wants me to be a part of the kid's life. But I'm only 23 years old. This girl's 19. And I don't want kids. Not today or not next week or, I don't know, probably not 7 years from now.
Uh-huh.
So I don't even know what I should do. And I know it doesn't work like that. She's going to end up getting me for child support if I dog her out or don't call her and I'm just...
Oh, boy. Yikes.
Stuck. I don't know what to do.
Wow. Yeah, you don't want 18 years of going to the park and going to the zoo and going to theme parks and babysitting.
Nope.
But you especially don't want some one-night stand getting your paycheck for 18 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that certainly is a dilemma.
I just want, to meet chicks and have a good time. I don't want to have kids and have the responsibility of raising somebody else or just putting up with that type of stuff.
Well, by the way, first of all, we tell you all the time on this show, never take chicks to your place.
Yeah.
Because of a number of good reasons, but one would certainly be if you're doing strangers. Do you want them knowing where you live?
Yeah, that is true.
Because then they know who you are.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to change a cell phone number than to change an address.
Yeah, that's true. And she only has my cell phone number. And I live in a one-bedroom apartment with 3 guys, so she was probably pretty intimidated to come over. And I could seriously move out of here in a week and be gone.
Oh, it's possible she was so blitzed she can't remember where you live.
Yeah, true. And I don't even know who else she's even been with or if the kid's even really mine.
No, you don't.
And I don't even think I want to go to the trouble to even get DNA testing. And
Well, it's not that much trouble. I mean, you can get along with that kid for 5 minutes. You can swab the inside of his mouth.
Yeah.
And then find out for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
You can do that.
For a miscarriage or something to happen.
You can always invite her over to the hot tub and give her a bottle of champagne.
Yep.
That would be wrong, of course.
Okay, that's not the right answer.
Well, the reason I'm suggesting this to you, no, I'm not suggesting it. It's wrong. Okay. But word on the street is that a pregnant woman getting into a jacuzzi, it could induce a miscarriage. It would be wrong to do that, so...
That would be very wrong.
Please don't do that. And also, obviously, ingesting alcohol
is not the thing to do.
Not the thing to do. And so, of course, you won't do this anyway, but theoretically, if somebody ever brought somebody into the hot tub who was pregnant and then gave them some champagne, God only knows what the consequences would be.
That is a good theory to know.
Even though you would never do it, and I would certainly never recommend it.
Of course.
So please don't ever do that.
I won't. I won't have any part of that.
Please don't do it. As soon as possible, please don't do it.
All right, Tom. Thanks a lot, and could you take me out of the fat bong hit?
Here you go.
Tom Leykis. 800-800-TOM.
People fantasize about 14 and 15 and 16-year-old girls all the time. What are you going to do? Put them all in prison? Put everybody up to a lie detector test? Ask people if they fantasize about the girl across the street when she wears a thong bikini? You're going to put these people in prison? What are you talking about?
But where do you draw the line?
I drew the line for you, you idiot! Get off the phone.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Andre on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Hey, first I want to let you know I listen to your show. I think you're doing a great job on educating young men on things they need to know.
Thank you.
Very true. Now, I have a story that is very extreme and very painful, especially for me. What had happened was I was seeing this girl, and we seen each other off and on. At one point, we were together for maybe 8 months or so. We broke up, no big deal. I moved on. The next girl that I started seeing, I was really, really into. I really was into this girl. So we were going to a restaurant. The night at the restaurant, we were together. I didn't have a ring, but I did state my intentions that, you know, I wanted to be her fiancé. I wanted her to be my fiancé. I want to marry this girl. As we exited the restaurant, there is the ex holding up this baby like Lion King.
Oh, my God.
If you ever seen Lion King, she's holding up this baby like, behold.
Oh,
and I'm looking like, what is going on? Literally, like I had no clue. The whole time I had used control, I had used condoms. She had said she was on birth control, the whole story, everything that you talk about. So I just had to call in on this one.
wow.
So as she's holding up this baby, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wow, what's going on here? She's yelling at my ex, at my fiancé, and I'm trying to explain to my fiancé, this is my ex. I don't know anything about this. What's going on? Anything. Long story short, the kid is mine. She didn't want to tell me the whole time. She went through the whole thing on her own just because she knew. I made it very clear, just like you already said, I had made it very clear. I don't want a child. So the whole time she knew that. So she waited until the child was actually born, not after 3 months, but actually until the child was on this earth before she approached me and showed me that child.
Jesus. And so what did that do to your engagement?
Well, let's just say we're not together.
As of that night?
Not as of that night, but as of that night is when some serious questioning started going on as to my intentions, or was I aware of the situation before she ran up holding the baby in the air, which I wasn't.
But she believed you were.
She believed her. She even went over there a few times and talked to her about different things, and it was just crazy. And I love my son. He turned out to be my son. I love my son, but the way he came about, it's just crazy. And the kicker to the whole situation is right after she had that baby, she had her tubes tied.
Mm-hmm.
She told me that's all she wanted to do was just have a child from me, and she had accomplished her goal.
Yeah. Yep, I've said this on the air. I broke up with a woman who said to me, the worst part is I don't even have your kid.
Well, I wish I had that problem.
Like, wait a minute. If you're not going to be with me, why would you want to have my kid?
Right. So now you got to go through the whole ordeal because I'm in L.A. and she's in Sacramento, so I have to go through the whole ordeal of flying them down here and share custody and all that.
You don't have to.
Well, I don't have to.
Because between the airfare and whatever child support you do pay, it's probably cheaper to just let her take care of the business.
Yeah, I agree. And the whole time she said she was on the pill, and the probability of that, I should have played the lottery.
Yeah, but, well, you really believe she was on the pill?
No, I would have a better chance of winning the lottery.
That's right. A better chance of being struck by lightning.
Exactly. I was. The second I walked out of that restaurant and I seen that baby dangling in the air from her arms, she had this glee, this smile. It was just, I got you.
Unbelievable. I have 30 seconds left. Orlando, hello.
How are you?
Great.
I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
You know, I listen to you every day because you're such a moron.
Thank you.
I listen to your views.
I don't care why you listen. I just need you to listen.
Oh, I know. And, you know, you're very intelligent, too, because, you know, the more you piss people off, the more you put things out there. Women are like, use up tampons, the more they're going to listen to you. But, you know, your views are way, way off.
Yeah, you think so, but most people don't.
The Tom Leykis Show.